Good afternoon, Brian with Grand Roofing. In this video, we're going to go through the basic steps needed to remove a pipe boot. So the shingles around it, flat bar them out, figure out why the decking is humped up if you have a similar situation, put a deck plug in, and replace the pipe boot, put new shingles back in. If this is something you're looking for, give it a quick thumbs up, stick around. I'm hoping this would be anywhere between a half hour, 45 minutes, and an hour and a half, depending upon if we need to replace wood or see what this is. So on the way in, if you could, give it a quick thumbs up. I try to shoot more of this going into the fall and the winter. It's been a hectic year, so let me know if you like this kind of content, where you're watching from, and I'll do my best to cover more of it. Let me get the GoPro on and we'll get going. I will do my best to try to cover as much of this, but the GoPro's on my head. I can't see if it's in frame or not. I'm just kind of guessing here, going with it. So if it's not, I apologize. If it is dizzy, again, I apologize. I get critiqued because people just think I have a person to sit with me all day and film, so I don't. All right, so what we're gonna start with is a flat bar. We're gonna split the seal strip here and here. Get these nails out to get this shingle out. We're gonna stagger the pattern down just below it. We're gonna see what's going on with that wood. I don't think this is going to come out. It's going to go under here. We'll need to split this right here. I don't know if we're going to have to get into that. I don't think so. It is a Owens Corning duration. These can be kind of a pain to get split apart. Just start working it. You are going to more than likely damage that seal strip. So when you're done, you're going to need to reseal it. Any of the new shingles should be fine. Just get in there and work it. Sometimes different temperatures, different times of the day or morning can be beneficial or hurt you. Right now, it's cooler. It is August 25th, and it's about 70 degrees or so. It was overnight in the 40s. So sometimes when they're cool, they're more brittle and will split easier. When it's warm, they can be real gooey. So you just gotta be careful. Don't rush it, or you can tear them and cause more trouble. There you go. So you can see what that nail strip does. It is pulling free from back here. So when we're done, we're gonna probably cut that right there with a knife and reseal this down. So when you're done, your new shingles, I could probably get that out without going up another row. This will flex up to get the new boot in. So we're gonna try that, but I don't know where the piece of wood breaks. If you're having some trouble doing it one way, don't keep fighting it, try something different, attack it a little bit different. So I did do a video inspection of this roof a few weeks back, posted it, and then I did a very impromptu in the attic. This was not broke. It felt like it was because the way it was wobbling, ends up going down and hanging and shooting off that direction. That one over there is totally different thing going on. It's very hot. That video was only like a minute. So I got the okay to get the repair worked in. So we're here doing now. So I think I started to say, if what you're working on to get your shingles out isn't working, instead of fighting it, just mix it up, try something different. How's that saying go? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So we're just gonna take a sharp straight blade, just remove that. I'm not cutting the shingle, it's cutting the paper. Because if you leave that, if you do seal it, this is going to stick. It's not going to seal down. So when we seal it, seal, stick. Drink my water before it gets hot. Been in the truck all day. All right, so that's free. Remove these nails, even though we're going to try to leave that shingle, because this one is pinned down up under there. That's why we need to get those. If you are new to the channel, I do my best to share what I know for you guys, but those that have been around or into the roofing business, yes, I know some of it's pretty basic. You may do this or have done this, but I'm trying to talk it out to the people that are new watching to do their own repairs. So right here, this keyway, this shingle's coming out. This is loose. As long as there's not a nail right here, you should be fine. We don't even have to mess with this. And a good way to test, if you can get this, see how that's picking up? There's nothing pinning it down. The nail's over here. So it should be good. Now at this point, I don't care if I damage the shingle or not. It's gonna get replaced. This may be a Corey gray, it could be a state gray. I know it's Owen Corning duration. I have a state gray here. It's a little darker, so this could either be faded or Corey gray. Either way, you're not really gonna see it back here. I did check with the homeowner. They said it was fine. But we always do our best to try to keep the color as close to as possible. Some people I've seen, they're just careless. It'll be like a black roof and they'll put a red shingle on it. Wow, cap nail, decking nail. They obviously went over something bad here. See what we got going on. They cut the paper here to flap over the top of this, I bet. Keep prepping here a little bit. I gotta go a little farther over. Trim nail. Boy, that strip embeds really good there, but I'm surprised how easy it's pulling up off of that and through those nails. I've done a lot of duration over the years, and usually it holds up pretty good. The infamous ice and water stops leaks, right? Well, let's just look at this. All the debris coming in here. They also smeared tar on it. I think the problem is they reused the old pipe boot and the decking is buckled, and I'm not sure why it's buckled. We're gonna look into that too, see what's going on. But they definitely used an old pipe boot on this. It's crazy because you could, I don't know when this roof was done, but right now you get a plastic boot for like $6 to $8, an aluminum boot for probably $8 to $12, a lead boot for probably $30 to $40. Limited lifetime or lifetime warranty, never leak boot for probably $60 or $70, just the cost of the material. So this one here is cheap, one of the cheapest, and it looks like they reused it. It just blows me away. Look how moist, or how much moisture's got into that nail and rusted that out. How much debris has gotten in over here over time, which if this has the smallest puncture or tear, that could spell an absolute disaster. I think the biggest issue is the water, because of that hump coming up, running down here. Nevertheless, even though I quoted to fix the piece of wood and the boot, we're going to do that, but I also like to pay attention to what I'm doing to see where exactly the evidence of the water is coming in from. IPS brand, International Pipe Standard Roofing Products. Somebody said IPS is roofing brand, or a International Pipe Standards. I think it's just a brand. It's fairly old. Taking this one out because it's beat up. By the way, if you put your boot on this now, a tip, you want to be careful when you're stretching this. Do your best to hold the pipe, get it slid over gently, work it, twist it so you're not pushing down on that too much. But it needs to go up higher, because if you put it on now, you're going to kind of hide a lot of your flange, and I honestly think that I'll explain it when I get to it, but either way, the shingle's got to come out. secondary up there. Plywood. There's a rafter right there. We might get lucky and be able to screw that down with some screws in here, or possibly ring shank nails. Let me see what I may have in my pouch. You definitely don't want to use a smooth nail of any sort. And look at that, my pouch is cleaned out. Oh, there we go, we got some ring shanks in here. So if you're gonna do any kind of roofing work with decking, it's always a really good idea to use ring shank nails. They got little grooves in them right here, and they cause friction, so they're cupped like this. Think of a bee, the little barbed hook in it, so as it pushes in, it can't come up because those catch and have friction. Let me show you this. You might be able to see this way. You can hear a little zip, and then this way, it catches a lot harder. So as it drives in, it's gonna hold and not back out. Let's see if we can, this is already cut. I don't know why they did it like that. Let's get that out of here. See what's going on. I can see the rafter right there. We might be able to drive a couple in succession, bringing it up. Let's try that. Yep. Don't want to do that. Just slowly, another 1.5 inches up. These AJC mag hatchets are great. The only downside is when you're hitting a thin long nail like that, it can bend over. Unless you're like directly square up on it. You can hear it thud, 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 bounce a little bit over in solid wood. I think what they did is they just had one right there, and it was kind of broke. If they would have just taken a few extra minutes to make sure they got better nails into there. That one bent over. That ain't gonna work. These out, they're not gonna do anything. Maybe they were thinking put trim nails in it to help pull that down. If that's the case, they were off of their framing to not even hit anything. That's what they're trying to do. Doesn't take long to pull a few of those out. There we go, got a couple more in here. I'll get an extra one down here lower. Might luck out with this. See it right through here. We're going to catch the end to pull that down, try to get another one up higher, so I'm not relying on just one. 16 or 24. Let's just see if we're gonna hit a 16 on center. Yes, 16 on center. I want to get my knuckle into the spring steel. What were they thinking? Let's print it down into nothing. I just don't want those popping up. That's why I'm taking them out. It could also have been that they put them there because the paper was cut. Maybe they tried to dry it in overnight. Maybe they had a storm coming. They're trying to keep it mostly dry. It's really hard to tell. There's a knot right there. It's kind of cracked, but it's not going to matter. You're not going to shoot your flashing flange that close. So in a case like that, it's not going to hurt a thing. And I kept this repair price very, very affordable. In the comment section down below, if you're a contractor, what would you charge to replace a pipe boot like this? And a piece of wood if needed. And also how you word it too. If you say you're doing it, you should do it. In the agreement, I had said remove the pipe boot, replace the wood if needed, and shingle it back. Probably have to run down and get a couple things here in a second. Don't want that loose. So I'm fine with the way this is. It's solid and it's down. That hump is not there any longer. They had this broken completely. The knot had cracked, moisture got to this and warped it. That's why it was up. Let's see where the next 16 over to the right would be. Right there. Let's see if I can get one in right here as well. Missed it. Surprisingly, didn't bend it. I think I need to come back left a little bit. There, it felt more sturdy. There, it's hitting now. Just because if they miss that one like they did, I don't know. I want to make sure this is pinned down good here. Not going to cause a lot of buckling force. Thought I had a few more of those. These aren't quite ring shank, but not going to hurt to have a couple extra that are not ring shank. I'd rather have them that aren't ring shank than just not even put them in. Come on. Come on. Because I'm angling the hammer in a weird way. There we go. It's down, it's smooth, no hump. I got two there, got one there, got one here, got those there. Should be good. Run down and grab some ice and water. So we will be right back. I'm gonna bring some of this trash down when I go, grab up some ice and water. 1, 2, 3, like 4 or 5 shingles. I got a pipe boot up here already. A little leaf blower to clean up when I'm done. I think I said earlier, like, what would you charge to do this? They were nice enough to let me shoot the initial video and do a video of the actual repair. So things like this, I try to cut the cost significantly to be able to do it. caulking when I'm done. Headset in case I need to use the saw. There's a 3/4 inch boot. We're gonna use that one because it's a little bit bigger. I'll take this one down. Bring the ice and water. We're gonna use the Milwaukee gun up here. Do have the Cougar paws on, otherwise I wouldn't attempt to just walk down on a 12-12 like this. Don't ever walk right through the center of the valley too. A lot of people want to do that and it's just not good. And a ladder standoff. If you haven't got one of those, link in the description. All right, trash. 2, 3, 4, 5. One's up there. It's more than enough in case I tear something, damage something. I've got the caulking up there. Let's grab this piece of ice and water. More than I need. And let's get going. We're gonna go over some basics. Debut the Milwaukee nailer and get this done. Power on. This thing's awesome. I still got to make the video between the 3 of these. Which, by the way, if you're in the need for an air nailer or a battery operated nailer, you guys check battery power. Battery power is all right. If you're in the market for buying some sort of like battery operated nailer, keep an eye on the channel. I plan on posting, actually I did a live, but I didn't realize it was private, so nobody saw it. The Matobo, however you want to say it, however it's pronounced. You buy a skid of nails from Lowe's, they'll give you the gun for free of your choice that shoots those nails. So in this case, 1/4 coil nail, pneumatic or battery operated. Getting the battery operated, it's my least favorite of the 3, but I'm going to give it away for free, brand new, unopened. As soon as I get it, keep an eye on the channel. Let me know where you're watching from. If you want a free gun, let me know. Say I'd like the free gun, and watch for an upcoming video. So if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It probably will not be labeled as free because then the bots hit the channel. So let's get back into this. Excuse me. And if you appreciate the unedited, maybe like fast forwarded or cut out if I had to go down to the ground, but as far as from start to finish, uncut, unedited, no voodoo magic here, and you like to see it all, let me know. All right, pipe boots, installation basics, the way I like to do it. Get that just under that there. In a case like this, we're going to put some ice down to go over what we did here. We're going to put a little slit at an angle right here. It does not take much, and I'll explain why. Right there, so I can get my ice under this. Right there. We're gonna bring the ice under that down on top of this row of shingles, low enough to cover this. So here's a good point to point something out. I've seen people try to hide this, right? So maybe they'll try to hide it up under a shingle like this. If you have a keyway under your pipe boot, this is a good prime example of it's not a good idea unless you put a bib under there, because water's gonna get under this See how low down? About a 3/8 inch, ½ inch above that strip, right? To right there where my glove is. If this is not down low enough to cover that, and you get water running off of this, it's going right in that seam onto your roof deck. That's why it's not good to try to hide your pipe boot. This road needs to go in like it was. My rule of thumb is the top of the shingle that gets hidden needs to go past the back of the pipe. If not, it's too low. So let's get your the ice in real quick. Scrap of this in here. Ice can be good, but it's not a cure-all. It doesn't just mean that you're gonna have a successful roof. It's probably right here. By using ice and water doesn't mean you're not gonna have a leak. I've seen plenty of leaks where people have had ice and water and they thought they were good. Take my gloves off for this, they're gonna stick too easy. I'm gonna go down plenty far here. I'm probably gonna need to add, I will need to add another. This is just a little extra. As I said, it's definitely not gonna hurt anything, but it doesn't just mean that you're not gonna have a leak, that you'll be leak free. Get that tucked up under there. As I said, a steak gray. This might be Corey gray, could be old, faded, whatever. This nailer is awesome. It's quiet, you don't have that annoying hum like the DeWalt, but it's actually fast. That's what I don't like about the Hitachi Metabo. Flat bars, some nails here. On a case like this, take your time, pop those nails out. You might think no big deal, go right over it. Over the course of a couple summers, that nail sticking up will push right through your new shingle, pop a hole through it. Or just not lay, not look good. It's actually 3 of them right there. All right, now it'll lay. You see me do it, I'm just trying to make sure the camera is kind of in view, doing my best anyways. All right. Let's do another quick thin strip. If I would have cut that one a little bit bigger, it would have been okay. But now I got to talk about ice and water a little bit more. Why and where I like to have it. Alright, so now pull that slit up, get it on top of the ice and water. And the reason you do that, if there ever is a leak up above, it's going to come down onto your ice and water and down. not go under it. The other thing I put a 45 here for, this is like a repair. I would never normally just do this on an install, but if anything water comes off this, it's gonna run down this way here. So. Stuff is so sticky. And they're going off. Nope, I'll go around back and get them. All right, tip on your pipe boot. When you're going to push this down, you want to make sure you're right size, but don't just push down because you can easily crack it. Hold your pipe as best you can, stretch that, work it over it. By twisting it when you go down, it kind of relieves the pressure. You're not just pushing down until it gives. But you don't want to over push PVC, especially when they branch off different areas, because they can easily break. We're just gonna roll this up. All right, so if you were to go right now, it's probably okay, especially because I've got this bibbed. But if you notice where that line was right there, all right, follow this over. This is just a guide. I want to show you something here. I've seen leaks because of this, so I want to just point it out real quick. This shingle, the head lap, we're just going to run this as a guide over here. Right there, okay? If water comes off this, heavy flows and it comes off here, if this ice wasn't here like a bib, it could easily go under that shingle because your flange just is not that big. People say, well, if you put ice and water over the top of this, you're golden. I disagree, depending upon your climate and the temperature and how this is, because when this is cold, it's not sticky. It's not going to stick to this. It can actually work its way under and right off of there. So to be safe, I always put a bib under it. Bridges this. That way if it comes off, you're much less likely for a leak to occur. Now it could still run under laterally this way, but it's mostly going to come off. That's also why when it's cold climates, I like to put a bead of sealer on the flange here and around the top before you put anything down. If you want ice and water, it fine. If you're not sure, use a bead of sealer, bib under it. That'll be some good insurance on actually making sure it's not going to leak. Now if you go over this shingle's under, it's not going to be like I described earlier with that keyway there because you are under it. You could get away with this, especially with the bib. If you went under one further, just going to show you some stuff here real quick. Now, this one will cover. If anything comes off, you're on a solid shingle. It's going to run out and down. On the downside, you do see this, but I would rather have functionality before cosmetic. I don't want it to leak. Now, this is also where water could run under the flange here. It's not going to make it up to that cut shingle when I cut this snug, but what it could do is come in right here, and if you shoot too far out and low with your nail or screw, it's going to go under this and get into that shank. So that's where you want to pull these up and in a little bit. You can always kind of flex this a little bit. So when you pin it here, it's not going to go anywhere. There's no chance of a penetration water getting in. And also most of the water that diverts doesn't even get to those. So pick your poison if you want to secure it or not. If you don't and you keep it up here, this can flap and vibrate in the wind. Critters will rip up on it, try to tear away in. Just some things to pay attention to. Just so it matches the other pipe there, I'm probably going to go right now. It's not going to be a problem. I've got my sealer, so I'm going to seal it. I'll show you that method. If you do the other like I just showed, you want to cut that shingle tight up under there, and you don't want to shoot the outer lower edges. So on here, I'm going to do 2 up high and in where it's diverted like I just talked about. You don't want to strain your pipe boot if it's a big cut gap and pulling it down and putting stress into the flange. So kind of wherever it lays and line up a little bit if it needs, as long as it's not under a strain, won't be an issue at all. Those will be sealed with a sealer, but again, the rain comes down and over it. I've seen exposed nails on your last piece of hip and ridge up there for 10, 20 years, never been a problem. Even though we do try to seal them, you can hide them, whatever. All right, then the rest of the pipe boot, just since we can, I'm gonna bring that up over here too. We're gonna shoot this right here, up on both corners, down just a little bit to get in that second piece of wood. But do not nail this area here, especially on plastic. It's so close, your nails are gonna get into it. Especially the plastic, if you strain the plastic and it cracks, it's not good. It's not gonna strain and crack with aluminum, but you don't want nails and penetrations where that water hits this and diverts around. Let's get a dry fit of this shingle in here. Just gonna butt it up right here. This is gonna fall into there. Hook blade coming up the side. You can trim it if you needed. Make it just a little bit bigger so it has a channel to flow. We're just gonna scrape that right here. That's the center for a leaf cut. Drop it down to your buildup, your reveal line. Just note how high this has to go roughly. Probably about right here. We're gonna put a relief cut. It's sticking already. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this one real quick. I probably need trimmed again, but it'll allow it to kind of lay in there. Be aware that you're not cutting your shingles underneath. Just try to float your hook blade, your blade you're cutting with. Check battery power. Still good. I think we might be able to finish this. 38 minutes so far. I just don't want it to cut out as it doesn't notify me. Don't cut your gasket. Don't scrape your knife down the aluminum. Just trying to open that up a little bit so you can get a channel for the water to flow. Looks good. I'm not nailing that yet because I want to get my next piece dry fit. Kind of the same process, just butt it on the left or right side of your factory edge. Mark your two sides. This just kind of eyeballing 3.5 inches or so, so we're gonna right above the boot, right there. Easier to trim it again than just start all over, so if you wonder. And I don't do this every day anymore. There we go. Alright, so here's the caulking I like to use. It's GEOCEL, GEOCEL 4500 roof stuff. It's not tar, it's like a silicone almost, or it's not silicone, it's just like this. You can use it on rubber, roofing, all kinds of good stuff, asphalt, shingles. It be used with water. This is already stuck down just by me waiting on it. Make sure you don't have a ton of loose granules up in there. We're just going to reach up as high as we can get up down that edge. Put a very generous bead down that will actually seal to that. Doesn't matter if it's cold, warm, doesn't matter, it's gonna bond. Reach up over the top, put a bead up here, and down this side. So, ice and water, I've seen people do this where it does not seal due to the temperature. Clean that tip off a little bit. I don't care what temperature it is, this is going to bond. You're not going to have water flow off. Just gently press it in so it bonds to everything. Just trying to get closer to that there. I'm gonna get this shoved back in. Not quite necessary, but I just want to show you, if you wanted to, you could also put a thin bead over that part of the shingle, just in case you do have ice dam behind the pipe, that it's going to seal this shingle to that shingle. This one is sealed underneath, so you're good and golden that way. We're almost done. We got to reshoot this one off because you pulled all those nails out. I'm shooting extra, so I'm not shooting the same hole. And also that tar strip has been pretty compromised. Alright, so now everything is nailed off. We're going to put a thin little bit of that over these nails. That will never be a problem. Now, the last couple things you need to do, where you split a row, those are never going to seal. So make sure you put some dabs over your nails, any of the nail holes, anywhere you're concerned on. I don't do a big line all the way across, and I definitely don't draw a line across these areas where water gets in, because you can actually divert water in areas you don't want it to. So if you're ever unsure, just put some dabs, but if not, it will not stick. Anywhere you split the seal strip from the old to the old. That should do it. We're gonna step on that, push it down. Still good on power. Still good. 46 minutes so far, not bad. Hopefully everything's been in frame. Any of the new shingles, they're gonna stick and bond just by being warm and pressing on them. Like you saw earlier, me just leaning on them, they stuck already. And I'll show you, I didn't seal any of these lower ones. 170 pounds, just lightly on a 70-degree day. They're already starting to stick down. If you can see, I'm lifting here, but where that seal strip is, it's up a little bit, it's gooey. That's where it's sticking. So they're stuck. They're gonna continue to stick. That I never pulled. This one here, you can see the sealer I put in there. So I want to make sure I press those down into it. It will cure, dry, down in the down position. In the winter, you gotta be careful of doing that because it can actually, if you don't bond it flat, it'll cure before it's flat laid down due to the temperatures. It will dry raised up like that. Let's just walk it over real quick. By the way, this would be a good point to, almost done now, 50 minutes in, a disclaimer. Don't go up on a roof if you're not comfortable. Where you're not gonna hurt yourself. You fall off this, you're gonna have some broken bones for sure, possibly not even walk away from it if you do live, because that's a good 40-foot fall. I'm 2 stories up, and then there's a walkout basement down below that, so that is quite the fall down there. So watch where you're walking, use safety equipment if needed. 48 minutes in, we did it in under an hour, not bad. If I had to replace the wood, the only difference is I might have to go a little farther left, a little farther right, maybe a little higher, get that piece of wood cut out, measure to plunge cut into or whatever, where your boot is. So say you got a rafter right here, a rafter right here. You're gonna cut that out, an arbitrary height, doesn't matter. Measure your piece to fit in, but you can't put it in because the pipe. You're gonna pull from a left side or a right side, doesn't matter, just transfer your marks in the same manner. So say you got roughly a foot here and you had a couple inches here on this side. If you measure left and pull right, you're gonna measure say 12 inches and 14 inches. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna measure from the top down, transfer the measurements from the top down so your hole lines up correctly. Drill a hole, sawzall, plunge cut, whatever, just get the hole, get the wood slid down, nail it off, toe it in, toe it in. If you can, it's ideal to cross over a rafter, so instead of one to the other, cross into the third. It's going to hold a little bit better. We're going to wrap this up because my battery's just about to shut down on you. If you got any benefit out of it, give it a thumbs up. Greatly supports the channel here. It's free to do. Lets me know you guys care. Also the comments where you're watching from, I read them. I'm like, oh, okay, they've been watching. They saw it to the end. And the upcoming video. I'm not giving this one away. That one's nice. I love that. The DeWalt's my second favorite, but the green gun, battery operated, it's just not as quick as this, but it does do the trick. 100% free, no strings attached. I'll figure out how. Watch for an upcoming video. As always, until next time, be safe. We'll see you then.